Welcome to your favorite show, Pink and Purple. My name is Tembi Pida and I am your host. So you want to be rich, right? You want to accumulate wealth, but how? Today we'll be discussing asset management and wealth creation with Mrs. F. Swanda. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. So please tell us about yourself. Who is Mrs. F. Swanda?
Mrs. F. Swanda is a local businesswoman. Into so many businesses, but mainly into microfinance.
All right.
From a banking background. Microfinance with about 5 branches now.
Okay.
Assisting small businesses and, of course, small individuals who are trying to create small wealth for themselves. I also do consulting. Human resources, job evaluations, environmental management strategies.
All right.
I'm also a local farmer.
Okay.
Into goat breeding and into cattle breeding as well.
All right, that's very interesting.
Yes.
Very profound business person, I must say. So today we want to talk about asset management and wealth creation. Maybe let's start by defining what an asset is.
It is a very, very large subject.
Yes.
But we shall try and focus and speak probably to the non-financial managers so that we use the simplest terms. An asset is an item that you own. And remember to mark own.
Yes.
It is something that you must own.
Yes.
Not only to own, but something that can give you value in your life. Something that you can use for future benefits.
Okay.
So it must be something that you own and something that will give you future benefits.
All
Yes.
right. Okay.
So the principle of ownership is important.
All right.
If you don't own it, it is just called possession.
Okay. So it should be in my name for it to...
Yes, for it to be an asset in your name.
Oh, all right. And we've often heard asset and liability. When we talk of asset and liability, it's like it goes together. What's the difference between an asset and a liability?
Like I indicated to you, an asset is something that you own and something that adds value into your life. But the opposite is the liability.
Right.
The liability is what you owe. In other words, it is a debt.
All right.
So you are comparing what you own versus what you owe.
Oh, all right. Okay. And an example of an asset, what would we use right now in an example of a liability?
When we talk of assets, assets are divided into fixed assets, into current assets. When we talk of fixed assets, we're talking of immovable items.
Right.
For instance, you are talking about properties, the land. But when you talk about the current assets, you are talking about the cash, the investments, the near cash assets. Those are what we call the current assets.
Okay. And we talk of liability. What exactly are we talking about?
When you talk about liabilities, you are talking about things like mortgages, loans, and money owed even to individuals. All those are liabilities.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. And today we want to understand how you can use an asset to create wealth, right? But maybe what is the difference between wealth and riches? When someone has money, they think, we don't know, are you wealthy? Are you rich? You know?
Yes, when you talk of riches, mostly we're talking about cash.
Okay.
And when we talk about riches, we're talking about a short-term ownership.
All right.
Because with riches, today you can be a millionaire, tomorrow you can be zero.
Yes.
Unlike wealth, wealth is something that you own for a sustainable period, for a long period.
Right.
And this is actually meant to actually even meet your commitments.
Yes.
Because when we talk of liabilities also, There are short-term liabilities, there are long-term liabilities. So your assets should be able to meet all your commitments, the short-term liabilities and the long-term liabilities.
Right.
So when we talk of wealth, we're talking about sustainability. It is over a long period.
All right. And riches fade away.
Yes.
All right. Okay, interesting. Viewers, today we are discussing asset management. Please do not move. We'll take a short break. Join us after these messages. Welcome back. You're still watching Pink and Purple, and we're discussing asset management and wealth creation. So, Mrs. Manda, what's the fastest way to accumulate wealth, especially for us young people? We want fast money. We want to be rich there and there.
It's good I'm talking to young people like you who are now eager to get rich.
Yes.
And at the same time, they think they are wealthy. Wealth creation cannot be fast.
Okay.
Wealth creation, like I said, is over a period of time.
All right.
Because it has to accumulate over a period of time. Nowadays, we're fond for deals, fast cash.
Yes, we're hustling.
But the ideal situation is to accumulate it over a long period of time. Right. Like I explained earlier on, that riches will come fast and riches will go fast. But when you want to create wealth, you have to take time, because you have to get into projects that can give you some amounts of savings, and from the savings you can then create wealth. You need to get some partnerships which can actually come in with injection, because for you to start a business, you have to get some injection, some capital. That capital will then raise wealth for you in future.
All right. Okay, interesting. And where does a car fall under? Say I have a car. Does it count for an asset?
Like I indicated earlier on, that an asset is something that adds value. But a car actually takes away value from you.
Okay.
It brings even a lot of expenses. Yes, some people will put it as an asset because it runs around and creates some value for the business. But in actual fact, when you buy a car, it starts depreciating. It loses value. So it becomes, therefore, a liability to the company.
All right. So we're looking at long-term strategies. We want to run away from being rich and to create wealth for ourselves. What are the wealth creation strategies?
Like I indicated earlier on, to say, for you to create wealth, even for instance, if you are somebody who is earning an income, you need to have a strategy of savings. We normally say, out of your income, try and save 10%, put it aside. Put it aside. And mostly we say try and put it aside on something that appreciates instead of something that depreciates.
Depreciate, yes.
Yes. I'll give you an example of doctors. Doctors were earning money through the daily consultations. And they would take the money and put it in a farm where they would put bicycles and stock them. So that stock is appreciating because there is multiplication, there is increase, and they maintain value. Because in our nowadays economic situation, you need something that will maintain value. So when you have a cow in the farm, it maintains value because the price will change. I'll give you for an example. When I was doing microfinance, I was buying stock of cattle and put it aside. So when the dollar was devalued, but those cattle remained with value. When we dollarized and we changed from the $1 trillion, we managed to sell the cattle in US dollars. So they maintained value. So they are now listed under wealth. Because they are there for a long time and they continue to maintain the value.
So wealth has to generate income all the time. That's valuable, right?
Yes, you have to always receive some valuables from an asset.
All right. So, and what are the opportunities that are there for us young people to buy properties, even young women, because we believe that especially for young women, they believe that buying and selling clothes or makeup is the ideal business. It's the ideal asset, but what are the other opportunities that are there for us to buy properties?
What I would encourage young people is to get into production.
All right.
Get into production, and from production, whatever you realize from there, you try and make savings out of them. Because when you want to enlarge your projects, I always advise people that you must always do it from your own savings or from partnership deals that you can have. Because as young people, you might have skill, but you don't have the capital.
Yes.
So you have to now partner with someone who has the capital when you have the skill.
All right. Okay. So, and what are the other principles that govern wealth? Because you've already mentioned this one, that you need partnership. So we are trying to create wealth for ourselves. What are the principles that we have to follow, the laws that govern wealth?
Like I indicated, wealth creation, number one, is over a long period of time.
All right.
And you have to have a sense of multiplication.
Okay.
As a young person, whatever money that you receive, don't think of spending, but think of savings. Think of accumulating. That will give you a start-up. Because wealth is not like it has to be boom, but you can accumulate it over a period of time.
Yes. Okay, that's very insightful.
But it is advisable that you start into projects. We have seen young people getting into poultry. We have seen young people getting into piggery.
Yes.
So if you were to get into partnership with people in production, then at least that can give you a starting point.
All right. You've mentioned poultry right now. I have a farm. Say I have a farm, and it's an asset, right, in that aspect. How do I manage that farm outside partnerships?
Outside partnerships is very difficult because you have to inject.
All right.
For you to start up any project, you have to inject.
Okay.
Unless you have got parents who have already created wealth, then they can give you a portion to start stocking up the farm. Because the farm alone will not give you wealth.
Yes.
Lying idle, it has to be utilized. You have to do some projects in the farm for you to realize the proper value.
All right, okay. And do we have adequate knowledge on wealth or asset management for future generation?
I think there is a lack of knowledge and lack of understanding.
Okay.
Like you say, the current generation is very fast.
Yes.
And they want fast-moving things.
Yes.
But like you say, they are only going to be rich, but they are not going to be
wealthy. Yes. And Ma, do the learning institutions give us enough knowledge for the industry?
Basically, what we have realized is there is a small gap between the learning institutions and the industry. Most of the students coming from these institutions, they have some theoretical knowledge. But when it comes to application in the industry, there is a problem.
Okay.
I would think that most students, they need industrial attachment where they can actually experience what is on the ground. Because most of the students, when they come out of the institutions, they have got the wild ideas.
Yes.
They've got wild expectations. But when it comes to reality, they get disappointed. And most of them, they get frustrated. That's why most of them, they end up now getting into other activities of making money fast.
Yes.
You find they don't even last at work because they will start stealing because they had their own expectations before they left the institution. So now when they find the reality on the ground, they are not rich, they are not wealthy. So they try some shortcuts into getting wealthy. They become very impatient because when they are at school and learning, they are thinking in their minds that as soon as they move out of college, they want to be rich. They are going to have pockets full of money and they're thinking of a lot of yes. They actually think of expenditure before they actually make the money.
All right, interesting. And what is expenditure?
Expenditure is the application of your income.
All right, okay. So now I understand that soon after I finish my degree or whatsoever, I have my income, but the way I'm spending it is not in such a way that I will accumulate wealth.
Yes,
All right.
because when you get your income, you have to do what we call controlled expenditure.
All right.
Especially for young people like you, most of the times, as soon as they come out of the bank, they start spending money. They have not done what we call income and expenditure budget.
All right.
Because even as an individual, you need to make your own income and expenditure budget.
All right.
Because that will actually make you learn to spend within your means.
Yes.
You find people start spending first before they actually even consider the income. And before they know it, they are out of budget.
Okay. We will continue this discussion after these messages. Welcome back to Pink and Purple. We're going to play a little game with Ma. You're going to pick a question and hand it over to me and I'll read it. It's game time. Were you ever caught stealing meat from the pot as a child?
No.
Oh, are you serious?
Meat, I never stole.
Okay.
I stole sweets.
Okay. All right. You didn't like meat?
No.
And you got a hiding for stealing?
Yes.
All right. The next question. If you could ask the president one question, what would it be?
If I were to ask the president, I would ask him, when are we expecting the promises that he made in July?
Okay. All right. I hope he's watching. Because promises must be fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather be the best player on a horrible team or the worst player on a great team?
The worst player in a great team.
Why?
Because when you are a team, whatever happens in the team, you also partake.
All
so
right.
when they are great players, even if I lose, I become great with them.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. What living person, other than family members, do you most admire?
You know, I always look at people in my other spheres of life,
All right.
the biblical preachers.
Okay.
And I love those people who are rich in the Word of God.
All right. Okay. And which one in the Bible would you admire?
I always admire Abraham.
All right. He was a great man indeed.
Yes.
This will be our last question. As a child, what did you wish to become when you grew up?
You know, funny enough, when I grew up, I wanted to be a bank teller.
Okay.
But at that moment in time, I was admiring the uniforms for cabs.
Okay.
They were
All right.
looking so good, and
They
I
were
used
smart.
to say, hey, if I would work for cabs, that would
One
be
day.
great.
Okay.
But somehow it manifested.
Wow.
I found
that's
myself in the
lovely.
bank.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes.
That's a great game. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
So, as we round up,
Yes.
say I just finished my degree
Yes.
and I'm now working. How can I best create wealth with my salary, with my income?
Like I explained earlier on, you need to make sure that from your income, you budget at least 10% of it as your savings. What we have seen with the young people is they just spend without actually taking into consideration the issue of savings, which is very, very critical.
All right.
Because when you are talking about income and expenditure, you are looking at how you can apply your income in the best way possible.
Right.
And most of the times we advise people that you should have the knowledge of what you need most. You need to look at your basic needs, not your wants.
All right.
But young people, they always go for the wants instead of the needs.
I want this.
So budget for your basic needs.
Okay.
And then when you look at how much you earn versus what you are going to spend, then you are now going to reserve something for savings.
Right.
Because savings is very critical. Because savings, you can accumulate something to start a project.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So you need to have that in mind. How can I best utilize my income so that I reserve something to create wealth,
All right.
over a period of time?
Okay.
Long ago, we used to have savings accounts
Yes.
in the banks, which never attracted fees.
Yes.
So we used to make sure that my 10% goes. We used to have Beverly Building Society,
All right.
and it was very good for savings.
Yes.
So you would put your 10% on the Beverly account. So
Okay.
every month you would see an accumulation
All right.
of your
that.
balances, of your savings.
Right.
Then when it reaches a certain point, that's when you can say, no, now I need to take these savings and start a small project,
Okay.
which can give me another source of income. Because you have already an income from employment. Then now when you start another project on the side, it's another stream of income.
All right. And does that mean banks now do not have proper savings or adequate savings accounts for us to accumulate wealth?
They still have various products
Okay.
for savings, but the only challenge now is comparing to the inflationary rates.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ma. And what are your last words to the people that are watching right now, to business people and anyone else at home?
My message is that we should be very practical.
All right.
Under this economic environment, and we need to be very creative. And what I would advise under these circumstances is that we put more focus on production, not on deals.
All right.
But let's produce something that is within your means, that you can sell and realize value for it.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much, Ma. That was very insightful. I really enjoyed the conversation.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So viewers, you heard it for yourselves. Needs over wants. Right. Thank you so much for watching Pink and Purple. From me, Temi Pida, and the crew behind the scenes. It's goodbye.
In you, because you see beyond my eyes, all the pain and all those lies, but you're searching deeper, and all you do is love me. It doesn't matter where I've been, no, no, no. Decisions, no. In your eyes, I am beautiful, so you keep chasing me. I regret I ran away, but I had to, couldn't understand why, oh, why. Now I'm begging you, please take me back, and I'm running back into your open arms. I surrender. To the grave.